Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I'm going to tell you the story of how I ended up moving to Pakistan as a 19-year-old, and it led to me reverting to Islam. So how did I end up in Pakistan? Well, from a young age, I was told by a mentor of mine that the best thing a young guy can do is go get a bunch of experiences. So I started traveling around the world and going all different countries. I was in Warsaw, I was in the Netherlands, I was all different places. I ended up in Turkey, and I was meeting up with my business partner at the time. And we were getting along, we were becoming really good friends, and he said, "Hey Canyon, I'd love to join you in traveling the world." And I was like, "Let's do it." And he's actually a Muslim. And he said, "Before I go, I want to go back home to my family in Pakistan and say hi to them, and then we can start traveling. Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "You know what? I want a bunch of new experiences. Yeah, I'll go to Pakistan with you." So we decided, go to Pakistan, had to get my visa sorted, got everything squared away, and we flew and we got to Pakistan. Now, while I'm going there, what's running through my head is like, it's gonna be a bunch of dirt roads, it's gonna be a bunch of donkeys. Like, I had the most Western stereotype. I had a phone call with my mom when I was heading to the airport. She's like, "Is it gonna be okay? My friends are kind of worried about you. Like, why are you doing this?" But I had faith. I was like, I think this will make a good story. It's gonna be worth it. Now, I land, we get there, and I kid you not, the first thing that happens is the officials at the airport in Pakistan tried to get me to bribe them to get into the country. They pulled me into a separate room, said I had visa issues, and they're like, "Yes, it's a very expensive country. You need about $6,000 to live here." And they were trying to get $6,000 from me. Keep in mind, I'm 19. I'm super young. I don't have much experience. I was so pale, so nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna end up in Pakistan jail and my life's over. Luckily, my friend, the fact that I had a Pakistani man with me saved the day. He ended up talking to him. He told him, no, he's friends with me. We're coming to see my family. He's all good. And he let me in. So that was first impression. Now, the second first impression is once we start driving, I kid you not, it is so funny. I look out the window and I see dirt roads and donkeys. And I'm like, this has got to be a joke. The first thing I see in Pakistan is dirt roads and donkeys. Still, I'm all for experiences. So it's not like I'm like, what is this? I was expecting it. It was just funny that that's how it ended up. So we got to where we were staying, and we were in Lahore, Pakistan. That's where we were. And in Lahore, you've got like the center of the city, and then you've got a bunch of like outskirts, kind of like districts. So we were in one of the districts, and we got this nice little place, and there was a mosque next to us, the local mosque. And what I decided to do is we started going to the mosque, my friend, because he's a Muslim, and I'm all about experiencing things, so I started going to the mosque with him. And I'd meet people in the mosque, and I remember the first experience I had ever in a Pakistani mosque. I walk in, and this uncle walks up to me, and he goes, "Oh, Muslim brother." And my friend goes, "Oh, no, he's not Muslim." And they're all like, no, Muslim brother, inshallah, inshallah. And they're all so kind. And what I noticed, day one of being in Pakistan, right? So we landed, we went to bed, then woke up, went to the mosque the next day. Day one of being in Pakistan, I was like, these people are so kind. These people are so genuinely nice to me. Like, they didn't speak English. I'm not the same religion as them. I'm not the same ethnicity as them. I've got nothing in common with these people, yet they were so nice to me, and it intrigued me. So I asked my friend, I was like, "Why are they so kind to me? What is it that makes them so kind?" He's like, "Well, all these people are Muslim." And I'm like, "Okay, I get that. I don't really know anything about Islam, but what does that have to do with anything?" And he's like, "Well, we're encouraged to be nice to people, and the Pakistani people, they represent that very well." And I was like, "Okay, that's interesting. I've met a lot of Christians, and they, Christians aren't bad people, but it's not like they were out of their way nice to me." And what I noticed with these Pakistani people is they were like out of their way nice, like where they'd come up and like shake my hand and want to have a conversation with me and want to be super nice to me. So that sparked a curiosity in me, because I had met so many people all across the world from so many different countries. I'd been in like 9 countries before this, and nobody had ever been this nice. So I was getting very curious, and I started asking him more questions about Islam. So previously I had 2 Christian friends in America, And I'm a curious person, naturally. And I'd always ask some questions, and that kind of fizzled. And I went through now this same phase with Islam. I was like, oh, what about this? What about that? You know, the regular stuff you'd ask, well, that doesn't make sense. Women don't have rights. Why would I follow the religion? Oh, you guys are so violent. You know, the stereotypical stuff. And I'd ask him everything. And he started explaining everything to me, and I started learning, and he'd play videos out loud, and I'd learn about them. And, you know, a week would go by, and I'm now praying at the mosque consistently. I wasn't a Muslim, but I'm down for experiencing culture, so I would pray at the mosque. And this starts to build for a while, about 2 weeks of me doing this, asking him questions. And I started to think to myself, there might be something here. Something might be going on. So I started going to Fajr by myself sometimes, if he didn't go. You know, normally I'd only go when he went, but sometimes he wouldn't go, and I'd go to Fajr by myself. And the imam at the local mosque, where I was in Pakistan, after Fajr, he would give a talk. And everybody there speaks Urdu. And he would be giving the talk, and I'd sit after Fajr every single day and sit and listen for 20 minutes and listen to his talk, even though I didn't speak Urdu. And I started to feel this emotion after Fajr, like my heart felt deep in the mosque. Like I would sit there and I would feel like I'm being pulled to the ground, like very heavy and very like calm and very relaxed. And so this started to go on for a couple days. And then I would pray Fajr, and while sitting there, I would think in my head and go, something is here. Something's here. I think I want to be a Muslim. So the next day would go by, and I'd think in my head and I'd go, yeah, this feels right. I want to take my Shahada. But then I didn't do it. And another day would go by, and I'd sit and I'd pray Fajr, and I'd listen to the Imam talk, and I'd think in my head, I want to take my Shahada. And I wouldn't do it. And this repeated for 2 weeks of me going, I want to become a Muslim. And then I wouldn't do it. No real reason. I just, after 20 minutes, I'd be like, oh no, and my brain would come up with some excuse, and I'd head home. Now one day, about 3 weeks later, I'm sitting there after Fajr, and once again, I'm thinking in my mind, I want to become a Muslim. And I didn't do it, once again. And I'm walking home. We are very close to the mosque, and I get to our building, and I take the elevator up. So it's a 3-story building, and we're on the top story. I take the elevator up, I go up level 1, I go up level 2, and at level 3, the power in the entire building shuts off, and I get stuck in the elevator. And the first thing that comes to my mind instinctively is, well, I might as well pray. I'm here. The elevator, there's nothing else I can do. I just gotta wait till the power comes off, till the power comes back on in the building. So I start making dua. And I prayed, this is exactly what I prayed for. I said, God, I don't know exactly what's real. I don't know who you are, what religion is real. I pray that you guide me. I pray that you guide me in the right direction. I pray that you guide me towards the truth. And I pray that you guide me on the path that is best for me. Ameen. And I did this for about 20 minutes. I repeated this for about 20 minutes. And after about 20 minutes of making dua, I looked down and I noticed a crack in the elevator door. And I realized I could open the elevator door and go into my house. Even though the power was off, the elevator door would still open. And I thought to myself, wait. Instinctively, the power goes off and I didn't even check to open the door. My very first thought was, I might as well make dua while I'm here. And I've never believed in coincidences my entire life. I've never believed once that things just happen, right? I always thought there was a reason. So I thought, there is no possible way that is a coincidence. I have to go take my Shahada. So I walked into our house, I flipped open my laptop, I went to YouTube and went, how to take Shahada. Pulled up a 1-minute YouTube video and took my Shahada by myself in the house. Next day, I told my friend, I've never seen somebody so shocked. So like, this is crazy. He was just ecstatic. He was mind blown. And so what we did is then we went and did it officially in the mosque It was one of the most beautiful experiences ever. I took my shahada in front of about 20, 25 uncles, brothers who I've been seeing, for a month there consistently. It was beautiful. I gave everybody hugs. Everybody was so supportive. We went out and celebrated. I had dinners and lunches at people's house, and it was just emotions that I've never felt. And it was beautiful. And that's why I love Pakistan so much, is because I have such a good association with the Pakistan people, because they were so kind to me, because they were so nice to me. It's what opened up my eyes to Islam, right? People were never that nice to me, and they were so kind, so it really opened up my eyes. And that's how I ended up in Pakistan and how I ended up reverting to Islam. If you'd like me to make videos on what happened after and what it was like becoming a Muslim the next 3 months, I'll happily make those. Just give me your opinion in the comments. May Allah bless you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my story.